crypto scamming, religious arguments, robbing people, abandoned pigs, prime energy juice. What's going on here? His reputation was doing so well recently, but out of nowhere, it just plummets again. But this makes no sense. This was his redemption arc. But now, he's struggling to save his career. How could this happen? This is the up and downward spiral of Logan Paul. Our story starts off with humble beginnings. Logan Paul started off his career with a sort of bland background. No one really knew him other than the fact that he was just some kid from Ohio in college studying for an industrial engineering degree. But then, everything changed when this crazy new app called Vine came out. In 2013, he would post videos on this app in which he would engage in physical comedy, including slapstick pratfalls and public skits, all on the limit of 6 seconds. These videos gained a lot of fame, like in this one with its beautiful comedic timing that had me dying on the floor when I was 8 years old.
Logan, it's Christmas! Christmas! I'm coming, Santa!
But you see, Vine sort of died when it was announced that Twitter, who owned the app, would be discontinuing it and removing it from all the app stores. The Vine website and Vine camera app were still available, allowing users to download and save their Vines, but new Vines could no longer be recorded or uploaded. The Vine website was eventually shut down in 2017, and the Vine app was removed from app stores. This was due to the fact that the rising popularity of short-form video platforms such as Musical.ly and Instagram Reels. Having nowhere else to go like many others, he would migrate to YouTube on October 18, 2013, on the channel called The Official Logan Paul, where he started posting regularly following the closure of the Vine app. He would later created the Logan Paul Vlogs channel on August 29, 2015, which has since become the most subscribed YouTube channel. His vlogs were a mix of different content. He would often feature vlog of his daily life, including hanging out with friends, traveling to different places, and participating in various activities and challenges. He would also include comedic skits and pranks in his vlogs. Additionally, he would post reaction videos where he would react to viral videos or trending topics, including himself. Who could forget videos like "It Creepy Clown Prank," "Choked and Tackled at VidCon," "How to Get Deported from Italy." Wait, what the fuck?
I'm a maverick, bro. Are the cops coming? Is that a fact?
Non si può fare.
Può fare.
It's forbidden. It's forbidden.
Okay.
You cannot do that.
I'll do it later.
My brother is dead.
So we lost zero money today. Yo, if you call the police, ask them if they could join the Logan.
No.
Be a maverick. If you couldn't already tell, he was one of those anything for views types who would do risky things on his vlogs, all for the entertainment and attention on YouTube. He even had his own catchphrase that was called "Be a Maverick," which was a call to action encouraging his viewers to be different, take risks, and stand out from the crowd. It was a personal brand and a lifestyle and a mentality he promoted, while also selling a lot of merchandise with it. There were a lot of people who enjoyed his videos, but others just found him plain obnoxious and sort of a douchebag, so he was a popular punching bag for most commentary channels during the time, along with his brother Jake. During this time, Jake would post a video on his channel called "I Bought My Brother His Dream Car, Lamborghini, Very Emotional," where he bought his brother a Lambo for his birthday, only it was not a bought Lambo and it was actually just being borrowed from a friend to film it as a prank. No, what they actually got him was a Lambo minifigure toy, probably bought from a local Walmart. In the video, Logan was clearly emotional, looking like he was about to cry after his brother got him something so expensive, only to later be disappointed and having to play it off on camera.
Oh!
Yeah.
I found it! Oh! Oh!
Yo! It's amazing! Dude, we were over there listening. You can't fake that kind of enthusiasm. This was too far.
It was too far.
This was too far.
This was too far, wasn't it?
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about what just went down.
Did my mom on video make it more believable?
Yo, that too! Yo, you got mom in on this.
It's every day, bro. Merch link in bio. No.
I guess this is what happens when your birthday's on April Fools. So why am I mentioning this? What significance does it have? Well, at this point, Logan and Jake have their first internet drama fight, where they would make diss tracks against each other after Logan and his friends made a diss track on him regarding the prank. They would have a back and forth with shitty music and fake internet beefs. Well, shitty music from Jake. Logan's actually goes pretty hard. I don't know what the fuck Jake was making.
Numbers don't lie, the Logan is shit. And why don't we is the Walmart One Direction. The Jake Paula's on top and we stay flexing.
This made all the elementary schoolers intrigued, and I guess being a kind of a soap opera for them, as they could eat it all up. While it was obviously fake, and was riding off Rice Gum's diss track era, it did bring a lot of views and made Logan's channel grow tremendously, gaining a cult-like fan base full of middle schoolers and making $4.5 million in 2015 and $12.5 million in 2016 from just YouTube ads and merchandise alone. His channel was growing fast, and every new video bringing a wave of popularity came higher demand for crazier stunts. His success was unbelievable, reaching an average of 15 million subscribers in just 3 years. But this peak would be short-lived in a trip to Japan in December 2017, during which he visited the Aokigahara suicide forest, where he filmed a body of a suicide victim and uploaded the footage to his YouTube channel. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't allow me to play the clip on here, so we're just gonna have to make do with the small snippet of audio I took from the original video.
Hey, I really hate to say this. I think there's someone hanging right there. I'm not even f***ing kidding. Do you see it? I'm not even, this isn't a f***ing joke, guys! That's a f***ing person! No. Dude, I f***ing told you.
No.
I think you're f***ing right. Oh my god.
No.
Dude, what the heck?
Camera, let's go.
What the heck? I've never seen a dead person.
You haven't?
No, bro. Oh, what the f*** am I looking at?
Oh my god, he's hanging.
Bro, did we just find a dead person in the suicide forest hanging? Yes, sir. You think that's real?
After this, things wouldn't be the same ever again. This was a terrible mistake, as I guess Logan had his head far up his ass when he uploaded this, because the consequences of this were huge. Commentary channels grabbed onto this immediately, as well as some YouTubers who had nothing to do with the genre at all.
From a tree, this person just killed themselves. Then he goes on to say, oh my god, guys, I can't believe we just found this dead body. This is insane. Look at his hands. They're so blue and purple. Oh my god, I thought that this was all gonna be a joke. This is actually real, guys. Oh my god. Disrespect, dude. Absolute disrespect.
Even celebrities started bashing on the guy, with Dylan O'Brien and Devin Sawa saying, "I've literally never seen such a gigantic piece of shit." So this guy goes to one of the greatest countries in the world and embarrasses us all for YouTube likes. Sad. Hell, this shit was so big, it even made it on the news where Logan would apologize.
I'm being told to commit suicide myself, which
Really?
millions of people literally telling me they hate me, to go die in a fire. It's like the most horrible, horrific things.
So you don't feel like the criticism has been fair?
That's the thing. I do.
As well as uploading this masterpiece.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven. I'm simply here to apologize.
His career was going in the shredder. People were unsubscribing quickly, and he was losing tens of thousands of subscribers a day. For a period of time, he became infamous, suffering massive hate from everyone and having to live with the consequences of his actions, needing self-reflection on himself and his decisions. During this time, not much happened with Logan. People eventually stopped hating on him, but that meant that they stopped caring about him, meaning that he became irrelevant, forgotten in the YouTube void, never to be seen again. But then, something insane happened. Something unforeseen in the prophecy. This British YouTuber with a big forehead and funny screaming videos was rising up higher than before, after a recent boxing match where he won, and was so caught in the moment that he called out the one and only.
Motherfucker! Look at me now! You said before this fight, you had something planned. Is there anything you want to say to someone out? You said you wanted to call someone out.
Well, obviously, man's got this belt right now. If any YouTuber wants it, you can come get it. Jake Paul, Logan Paul, any of the Pauls, I don't care. Bring it. Same, yo, if any celebrity...
This was a massive save from KSI, as Logan's career was literally flatlining during the months of 2017 and half of 2018. This began in 2017 when KSI, whose real name is Olajide Olatunji, I'm just going to call him JJ, made a diss track about Logan. Logan responded with a diss track of his own, and the two continued to exchange verbal jabs on social media. Suddenly, there was a press conference and arrangements for a boxing match.
Show her a real man!
Yo, it's funny.
Wait, no, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
This is coming from
Shut
Baby
the fuck
Carrot.
up. This is my town now, bitch.
It's so funny.
Shut the fuck up.
It's funny to hear you talk about your baby carrot dick. Keep going. I enjoy it.
How are you gonna try and audition for Baywatch, get the part, and still not end up in the final movie? My song ended up in the final movie.
This was big for Logan, as this was an opportunity to come back to the spotlight and leave irrelevancy for good. Videos started to surface about him training with two-time heavyweight champion Shannon Briggs, who coached him on how to box. And to be honest, he was pretty decent at it.
Show him that three you got. Show him. Ooh, God damn it. Not like that. Not that hard, though, champ. Take it easy, champ. Don't hurt me. Let's go, champ. Do my jab. Ooh, not that hard. Let's go, champ. That's it. That's it. We 1, 2. Ooh, there we go. 1, 2. You ready? Ooh, he can't stop that.
The feud escalated in 2018 when the two YouTubers agreed to a professional boxing match, which was held in Manchester Arena in the United Kingdom. Let me just repeat that, a professional boxing match. These contractors were not messing around, and wanted everything to be professional as possible, and not some dumb YouTube drama between two YouTubers who was watched by a bunch of children. No, they wanted something serious. The match ended in a draw, but they both had a rematch on November 2019 in Los Angeles. KSI won the fight by a split decision, with the two judges scoring the bouts 56-55 and 57-54 in favor of KSI, and the third judge scoring the fight 56-55 in favor of Paul. The drama between the two was mainly through social media, where they would just post videos and tweets taunting each other. But the main piece of the pie was not their beef on Twitter or any other social media. It was actually their followers, who would often engage in online arguments and trolling each other. It had also sparked a lot of online discussion and memes. People really didn't like him again, but they did see a shift in maturity through the recent videos he's been posting, and some were starting to respect him again, but it isn't until he hangs out with a certain individual who would be important to his path to becoming a more respected YouTuber. This is Mike Malek, a person Logan knew previously from 2014 as a friend, but later became closer during the events of a boxing match, training together regularly. Mike proved to be a good influence to Logan since he was already in his 30s and had a lot more mature attitude towards him, and wasn't afraid to call him out when he was in the wrong.
You're too corporate for a non-corporate world. If I don't act corporate, nothing is going to get done. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
YouTuber Roberto Blake, who does analysis on success and helps creators make their online businesses, has told Insider that he started hanging out with a more mature crowd and started giving the authority to challenge him, stand up to him, and tell him no. Unlike before, where he surrounded himself with yes men who were probably too scared to speak up. Eventually, the fans started nicknaming Mike as the babysitter who helps Logan Paul stay out of trouble. After the boxing era, Logan continued to do vlogs and hang out with friends as the usual. At this point, no one knew what he was going to do since the boxing era has ended and people mainly came to his channel for that specific reason. But trust me, Logan would make something that would completely turn around the way people saw him. And this would be the final change he needs to revive his career. Ladies and gentlemen, this is...
After months of preparation and due diligence, guys, I give you the brand new Impulsive podcast.
Logan Paul released his hit new podcast called I'm Paul Sive in November 2018, with him being the main host, Mike being the co-host, and George being the third host. While this venture was very exciting for Logan, it required him to completely change his mannerisms and level of maturity, since in the podcast, it was important that to make his guests feel comfortable. After all, the guy was interviewing very high status people such as YouTubers, comedians, actors, athletes, and influencers, even adult actors and entrepreneurs. You get the idea, the podcast was a jack of all trades. And it did extremely well, getting up to 20,000 ratings and 400 listeners. This was great and all, but there was a small little issue, and that was his former personality in his vlogs. He could no longer play the over-the-top douchey YouTuber. Those days are over now. He was running a professional podcast where he had to relax and be down to earth for an hour-and-a-half long conversation. This change likely shifted his audience's age demographic from a bunch of children to teenagers and young adults, making him ultimately leave his old persona behind. But it was the change that he needed in order to finally be respected as a YouTuber, and now when people talk about him, didn't really so much think about the Forest incident, but rather his podcast highlights instead. So, everything was perfect now. His podcast was doing successful, and Logan Paul has finally redeemed himself. What could possibly go wrong with this whole new setup? Logan's podcast was very successful, but it did come with a lot of flaws. For one, a recent former host member, Goerge Janko, decided to leave the Impulsive podcast for good. This was due to the fact that he was heavily ignored in the podcast or just cut off entirely, as shown in these clips.
Alcoholic is daily. Alcoholic, because I asked the question. Based on research, no, it's one of those things where
were you every other day?
No, I was on the weeks. They still
to get
said
away
no.
from an emotion.
Okay, then yes.
Yeah.
Then yes.
No, I was asking. Is that?
Oh, yeah. No, that was amazing.
Yeah. Listen, man, I read the Bible line when they talk about David and Goliath. I've never seen a giant, and so like I'm literally just I'm a little taken.
You've been sitting over here for 30 minutes, and that's all you can freaking say. Fucking kidding me.
So you might as well try to explain that how you're gonna make money drinking water.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, professionally, it's like.
Before you go, George, I just want to say,
guy in the world.
George, can you just don't die on this hill? Just let the men talk.
There are certain. He is clocked out.
Yeah,
I know.
George has been under a tremendous amount of abuse.
No,
Stop, George. I want you over here with me. George, I want you over here with me. Chase him down. Go. You find him. George, no, go get him. Go get him. I said this, he walked, and that's a first, and now we're going to have to deal with the fallout of this episode for the next 2 months. I swear to God, Bobby Lee, you pissed off my co-host. He's probably crying in the driveway.
You know, the Beatles could have lost Ringo.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to talk in too much depth about this part of the story since someone already covered it. The link is in the description. But all I'm going to say is that Logan's setup of 3 hosts was pretty bad and caused a lot of friction with his co-host, George. Let me explain. Logan and Mike were the main hosts of the podcast, but they had George on the side next to the guests. This caused a lot of problems for both of them because the main host is usually supposed to sit next to the guests, while the 2 co-hosts are supposed to sit together as support. But Logan always sat with Mike, leaving George all alone and not really able to convey any sort of real nuance to the conversation. Eventually, this led George to act out more emotional when he was getting ignored. These small instances happened a lot, but Logan either laughed it off or shot back at him when he stood up for himself. While these clips didn't really ruin his reputation, they did show a lack of empathy since he was really doing nothing to change the problem. But this would later bite him in the ass when he and George would get into an argument about religion.
Jesus, not Allah. But question, what makes you think I'm going around condemning people? That's what I want to know. Because you always put that on me. You always yell at me about gay people. I never once talk about gay people.
Because you're subscribed to the doctrine that perpetuates that information.
I'm subscribed to love my neighbor.
Not everyone in your religion is.
Yeah, but
That's
but
fine.
singling out.
Not fine.
Hold on,
You're sitting in the same boat with some really hateful people.
The backlash of this clip was really bad, as many people were criticizing Logan for being petty and bitter in his podcast, literally ridiculing George's beliefs and religion. Many comments expressed their disgust, saying stuff like, "You can tell immediately that Logan's argument is not out of love, because if he loved George, he would support George with whatever decision he would make, whether sticking out his struggles with Christ or finding a therapist. Logan is trying to prove something bigger and attacking his beliefs, respect for Mike, for loving both his friends, and delivering peace and respect. As a Christian, I'm sad to see George be in the friend group. Guard your heart." Lost all respect for Logan. He was extremely disrespectful. "Logan is driving me insane. This is a problem in our society right now. People are just put into groups based on their beliefs, and when each person is individually special and unique, you can't group people together. Can't believe Logan treated him this way in that moment. In a situation fueled by live recording, he decided to take his best friend's faith to the cleaners, aka continuously stepping over him to complete his own narrative, and apparently being unaware that he was completely ripping his friend's heart apart in a metaphorical sense of disrespect, malice, and etc. Sad to see this. I was pretty good supporter of Logan trying to make better of himself, and he's been successful. This just showcases his true darker side of him that will probably remain until he's 40. It's amazing that the people who gaslight the most can't see that they are the most guilty. After this, Logan lost some of his fans that day, but this isn't really the worst part of the story, as the thing that really broke the camel's back was a small little venture that Logan called Crypto Zoo. Listen. You and I both know Logan is sort of an opportunist, a businessman, if you will. He's been proven this time and time again, investing in the market of Pokemon cards, dipping his toes into NFTs, and selling his Prime energy juice that literally rivals Gatorade. But in the midst of all his success, people sort of sense this fear in him, this fear of not getting cancelled again. You see, Logan has a lot of business deals, and of course, in order to keep these deals, he has to please the masses, bend down to the politically correct, if you will. Even if he obviously doesn't agree with it, but acts like he does anyway.
Y'all see Harry Styles? Did you see that this morning?
Nah.
Harry Styles.
Is that One Direction?
Yeah, he was in One Direction. He was on the cover of Vogue, and I think it was Vogue.
Looks like you.
Yeah, it was Vogue. He's cool as fuck. He's the guy. He's the guy.
He does look
like he's the type of dude that if I was like fully in love with a girl in a relationship, even like married, and she's like, "Hey, like I've chosen Harry Styles. I met him last night at a party," I'd be like, "I understand.
Yeah,
good choice.
Good choice." Yeah. So check it out. He got on the cover of Vogue, and he was wearing a dress. Wearing a dress doing whippets. What the fuck were they thinking? I think he's blown up a balloon.
Oh, god dang, my brain is just in all the wrong places.
No, but look. Okay, so to me, I see this and I'm like, what a fucking G. Like he don't give a fuck, right?
Wait, is that really what you think, or is that what you saying? But like,
I swear to God,
Harry Styles wearing a dress, like your immediate thought is, "Wow, this guy's a real gangster."
Yep. Because I'm all about challenging social norms. I swear.
People eventually called him out for this, most notably Andrew Tate, saying that he was a mouthpiece for the Matrix and everything politically correct. And many others shared the same view.
Clout chasing, he'll just clout chase anyone. Logan's an extremely emotional man, and you can see on his face, he's very, very angry and very, very upset at our success. And sits there and tries to say, "No, he should be banned, he should be banned." And I was watching it going, the worst thing about this is not what he's saying. It's that he doesn't really believe it. Logan is a man who says things that because he thinks he's supposed to say them. As long as they don't delete my account, Susan, if I say he's a bad man, Susan, can I keep my account? You are a clown. You are a performing clown.
Even if this was true, it didn't really matter, as everything seemed to work in Logan's favor in the end. But who would have thought that the thing that really set his career in jeopardy wasn't the fake wokeness in his videos, but rather the crypto project he announced back in August 18th, 2021.
The thing that I'm most excited for, and this is the first time I've ever said anything about this. For the last 6 months, I've been working on my own NFT project that I believe is going to change the game. because as of now, there's a model that a lot of people in the crypto space have identified, and that's releasing a set number of unique assets, each with different characteristics, and you're kind of crossing your fingers your project pops off, right? CryptoPunks, there's 10,000. Pudgy Apes, or Bored Apes, 10,000. Pudgy Penguins, I think there's like 8,888. There's a set number, and it's all just the same thing, just rewrapped into different skins, and you hope there's enough hype and a community around to build value in your project, right? I think there needs to be a fresh take, and this project that I have is that fresh take. September 1st, cryptozoo.co. I'm gonna tease it. That's all I'm gonna say about it now, because we're finishing up the development. But I am so excited about this project.
At the time, people were literally pouring hundreds of thousands of dollars to what essentially was a JPEG of an egg. They were promised that this would be the new and improved currency and that everyone would hop on it, only to be left disappointed that it was actually stealing their money. Because on December 16, 2022, CoffeeZilla would expose it all as being one big scam.
Today, we're investigating Logan Paul's CryptoZoo, a blockchain game that made millions but never worked. Some of you guys think you know the story, but it goes so much deeper. I've uncovered sociopaths, billionaires, fake orphans. Did I mention fake orphans? And of course, at the center of it, we have Logan Paul himself, who has abandoned this thing, leaving thousands of fake orphans in his wake. Wait a second. Thousands of victims in his wake.
He explains that there would be a day where the eggs would hatch and people would finally start trading their animals. Apparently, though, the game did not even work, and that you couldn't even hatch your own animal, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of a game, because that is what people were literally spending $500,000 on. After this video, things were looking bad for Logan, as it was only a matter of time before people would cancel him again. So in response, he made a video on CoffeeZilla, saying that it was all not true and that it was all just allegations.
CoffeeZilla. I watched her 3-part series called Investigating Logan Paul's Biggest Scam, and like many on this platform, you have successfully used my name for views and money. While your work used to be impartial, your addiction to clicks has clouded your judgment, and you've made very real errors with very real repercussions. Coffee, you took a shot at my reputation, so in this video today, I'm going to be defending myself with facts, something that you have gotten in the habit of twisting as you continue to morph from an investigator to a gossip channel.
He goes on about how Coffee supposedly hired a criminal to get information on his code, and that all the people he talked to were sketchy and I don't know, had an agenda or something, which is ironic because he stated that he got fooled by his own team because they didn't review who they were hiring.
And I know what you're thinking. What type of idiot would work with an unsavory individual like Zach Kelling? I guess that's what I get for trusting the team that I relied on to vet and manage Eddie's hiring process, who has turned out to be a professional con man that I have since learned fooled billionaires, the Mormon Church, the owner of the New York Yankees, and now me.
But then that's kind of your fault then, because your team should have, you should have hired a good team that hired good people and not scammers or con mans, as you say. Like, I don't know what his, I don't know why he said that, that just makes him look worse, if anything. So I don't know what he was trying to do there.
I got everything stolen from me in our community, stopped promoting publicly as soon as I knew the extent of the internal issues, took all of the heat on social, and you still published a defamatory hit piece, fully knowing I was innocent, just so you could enrich yourself in your $10 million studio. Sharp, but deeply unethical, dangerously misleading, and illegal. I suggest you use the money you got from pumping your Patreon to hire a good lawyer. You're gonna need it. And maybe we could have talked about this if you had reached out to me, personally. Not my manager, Jeff, who is not me, Steven, but the first time you did was on Christmas Eve after you released your series, so you could rely on false statements and unreliable people used recklessly. The subject line was third request for comment. Yeah, not quite. This will be my third time reaching out to you and your team. The first 2 times were through your manager, Jeff. The first 2 times were through your manager, Jeff. Okay, so the last time on Christmas Eve, after the fact, was to me. You have a funny way of twisting things. And I also noticed you left out that part on Twitter. Why hide that? Trust me, CryptoZoo is coming.
I will make damn sure of it.
So then the rest of the video, he just starts complaining about how how unethical he is and that he should have reached out to him, even though he did like twice. But I guess that's Jeff's fault because he didn't do that well. I guess he didn't look at his DMs and tell Logan Paul, hey, someone's gonna make a hit video on you. But yeah, then the video just ends and we get this great title card that says CryptoZoo coming 2023-2024. You know, spoiler alert, it never did. Anyway, after all this, if you weren't on YouTube already, you would have seen that people have already started making videos on his response saying how terrible and how all he talks about is he's the victim. Even Meat Canyon made a video on him, which I find kind of hilarious. Surprisingly, though, he later posts on Twitter saying he apologized to CoffeeZilla on Discord for what he said, and he admitted that he was right, which just came out of nowhere.
CoffeeZilla is not a criminal. I called him, I apologized. My initial response to his series was that of fire, an ego flare, whatever it is, pride. I'm a fighter at heart, and I was defensive because I know I never scammed anyone with this project. I never made any money, never sold any tokens, and I only had the best intentions going in. But the fact is that suing CoffeeZilla is not gonna help CryptoZoo holders, so I do need to focus my attention where it should be, which is on fans and supporters of me.
I guess he just got his ego hurt, and after releasing the video and threatening to sue him, he realized it was better to stay out of legal trouble since he did technically steal a bunch of money from people. Even if his intentions were good, it was already too late. His reputation was kinda done. While not as bad as the Forest incident, he did lose a bunch of trust from his fans that day. I guess what we can take away from this is that perhaps Logan's improvement journey was all a sham, and because of this, many people lost their money and for putting their trust in him. And you know, this is not like something new that happened before. I mean, Aiden Ross did something similar with this weird crypto pump and dump called like a MILF coin, where yeah, people had to invest in that, and he promoted it on his stream, and turns out what do you know, it's a scam, and people got mad at him. But the difference is that Logan had a lot of trust. You know, he had this image of he was a changed man, he changed for the better. No more forests, no more filming dead people. He's a changed man and more mature. But, you know, I mean, this all just goes to show that your hero that you admire so much might not be a good person, and instead of buying into everything he says, you should do your research first, even if they do seem trustable. Perhaps the person you thought changed probably never did, and instead became a better pretender. Hey, it's Ray. If you made it through the video, thank you. I worked really hard on this to make it at least watchable, and if you enjoyed it in any way, maybe just subscribe or leave a simple like. You know, you can't really dislike it because no one's gonna see that, so you know, you can't hurt my feelings. But I've been reading the comments. You know, you guys been talking about like these random mouse clicks in the videos, and sorry about that. My mic for some reason picks up me clicking my mouse key whenever I hit stop record, and I've ironed this video out to not have that. You know, I've been trying to get rid of it as much as possible, and later videos I'll try to improve more on that. But anyway, that's pretty much it. That's just a small update. I've been your host, Ray Cypher, and I'm signing out.
Play the intro, please. Play the intro.
Hit my celly. Said he got two baddies. Booty move like jelly. It's hella bands around me. I got your bitch bending. Feel like the Avatar. I stay up, I stay winning. My wrist stay out of block. Hey, how you feeling? I feel like popping off. Hit that nigga grillin'. 6 dots, I knock you off. Man, your lady trippin'. I still got in her drawers. Turn that shit like timid. I guess I'm fanny. I been gone for a minute. Had to take a fucking break. Got a sauce, so let's get it, let it out.